Good morning. This is Navy Old Salt Gamer. I'm back on Mars. So today, I think we're going to concentrate on power. And I mentioned yesterday one of the things I need to make the um, solar panels that I want to use that don't get damaged in storms is Astroloy. So I made some changes here. First off, I updated all my wiring to the heavier cable. Um, that way I don't have to worry about power draw. That also allowed me to eliminate my small transformer because now I can take up to 100,000 uh, volts, I guess it would be, or watts, 100,000 watts. And if I pull 100,000 watts in here, my base is too big. So I don't think I have anything to worry about anymore. The only thing that I can blow cables with now is if I get carried away with windmills, which I don't think I'm going to do on this planet because it's not necessary. So I went out and did some mining, like normal. I moved my, if you remember, my cabinet was over here, and here is my advanced furnace. Now you make the advanced furnace in the electric printer. Um, Pretty normal ores. You should have all of those. Steel, I guess, is, well, let's see. I mean, you could, well, I don't even need to do that. Let's do advanced. Where are you? There it is. So there's what you need. Gold, copper, steel, electrum, solder, silicone, all the stuff that we've already had. So the toughest thing about this is you need steel sheets, which you make on your autoleaf. Um, and then everything else is fine. So I didn't explain this yesterday. I actually hit the wrong button one time when I wanted to pause. I don't know if you ever noticed it. I mean, I didn't change it because it didn't really matter too much. But um, so I explained this, and it didn't go on the video. So when I melted the ice in here to go to oxygen, I didn't. The part that I missed was building an ice crusher here, and then just feeding the output of the gas into the input of my filters. So it's very simple. I apologize if that was confusing in the video. This just, because I didn't hit the right button, this just appears and I'm using it. And I did explain it, but I accidentally had the video paused while I was explaining it. So sorry about that. But basically just a nice crusher. And I did the same thing this morning with volatiles, the red volatiles. And I put 3 volatile ice, 50 volatile ice in there, and I got 9 megapascals. So 150 volatile ice is enough to give you 900 megapascals. I'm sorry, 9 megapascals in the tank. So I did that because I'm going to need that for this. And you notice I have this wired to the data. You can automate this. There's things online to automate it. I find it to be more troublesome. It takes a pretty advanced programming and stuff, and it's kind of touchy to automate this. The hardest ore to make is, I think, Waspaloy. If you go back to my previous videos, I don't remember which one, but I did make Waspaloy manually without much problem. So you just got to play with the inputs and outputs, and I'll demonstrate that here shortly. But basically, I want to go over it real quick. And I got some pipes over here hooking this up. So this works out pretty well right here because I need the oxygen and I need volatiles, which is a little further away, but not that big of a deal. And I just want to make sure I plug this into the right one. Okay. So let's bring the volatiles over first. And go up, 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 up. Come on. Up. There you go. 2, and then we'll go over to the right. This so I don't smack my head and I can get under these things. Oop. And we'll go right over the top of it. And do I need to go over another one? Yeah. Then I could go down. Now one thing you'll notice, if you're not aware of this, as you're adding pipes, the pressure in this is going to go down because it's filling up the pipe. See, I've already lost a megapascal. The moles are the same. It's just that the pressure went down because it's filling the pipe up. So you still have as much gas. It's just spread out a little bit more. And we'll just come down here. Do I stay above the dirt? Yeah, that's perfect. Now I should paint this a warning color of some kind, like bright red, and I will eventually, but with my color vision, colors aren't that important to me because I can't see them very well anyway. So now let's look at the back of this, and you can just hold this over. That's the output. This is the input. So this is where I want to go. And you do want to use insulated pipes on this. And do I need to come out another one? Just to be safe, I think I will. I think I would have been okay, but... So, now this is my oxygen feed. So if you look in here, it's only on. It's supposed to only be on. Oh no, that's... Oh, I'm glad I looked at that. That's my return feed. Ooh, that would have been bad. This is my oxygen feed. Always pays to check things out before you assume. So, how am I going to get this over here? If I come around the back, I'm going to hit my head. I can go over the top. Yeah, let's do that. I need my wrench again, so let's just go. I'm being careful not to merge it with any other pipes, because that would be bad. I don't want to mix my oxygen feed up with anything else, because you contaminate your tank. It would correct itself over time, but it's still not a good thing. Now, we're going to have the same kind of thing over here that we had here. We're going to use a gas mixer and use basically the same pressure. We'll just be mixing different gases. So I'm going to back this up a little bit more. So I'm going to go to here actually. And that's not the best way to put it. About up. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to put this. That's buried, so I don't want to, well, I guess I'm going to have to stick with this. Yeah, I think I'll do it this way. So, not ideal, but that works. So this will be, and I don't think I explained this very well last time either. When the straight through pipe is input 1. The one you're coming in from the side is input 2. So again, this is going to be a fuel, so you'll always want to go 66% volatiles and 33% oxygen. Now, yeah, you could use your naming device and put points in here. It doesn't matter. 2/3 and 1/3 is fine. So 66 and 64 is fine. Sorry, let me drink some water here before it starts hollering at me. Okay. So now I got the volatile hookup, so we're going to have to bring, and I could probably, yeah, my obsessive compulsiveness here. Let's do this in a pretty manner. Okay, so let's bring this over one more. Then I can just bring the pipe straight down. And I got the wrong, I just noticed I printed out the wrong display. Well, that's a quick fix. I guess that's going to have to be the way I go. Alright, so, and we'll just bring the oxygen down. I might have to go one more. I think I came down too soon. And I did. Now the problem with this is I don't have a ton of oxygen at the moment, so this is going to be using oxygen. Not a big deal. I can just melt more ice if I need it. And then we'll come up here, and we'll go up, and over, and over. Okay, so my input side is complete. Again, like I said the other day, by the time I complete all my atmospherics, I usually have pipes going everywhere. If you ever seen an oil refinery, it looks like this. You just got to keep straight what you're doing. It's not a big deal. Now, I think I have more pipes. Maybe I don't. Okay, let me pause it real quick and make more pipes. Okay, so I made some pipes. I also made the correct analyzer. I had the liquid. I don't want that. And I made 2 filters because my CO2 filters were going bad. And it wouldn't be a human invasion on the planet Mars if we didn't trash the environment. So there we go. I did my part to show that man was here. Alright, so now we want to do something with the input. This is kind of tricky, and I'll tell you why. Temporarily, I think I'm going to wire this into my input. My input. The problem with that is you're going to be injecting very warm air in here. So there's a couple ways of looking at this. You can make your ores and let this cool down. And I think I might actually do it the other way. There's a better way to do this. Now a lot of people use this hot air, and you can use it for a lot of good things. And what am I missing? Steel. Do I have steel over here? I want to save that steel. Yes, I made that for a specific purpose. I'm sure I got steel. And here we go with robbing Peter to pay Paul. I got this set for. That'll work. And let me catch my roly-poly ores. I'll leave that one, because I only want to take the steel out of here. I don't want to take everything else out of there. So now I can chuck that, grab my roly-poly, find my steel, and we'll throw this all back in there. Turn this off. Don't need that one. Sorry about the delay. I did have a storm while I was mining, so I shouldn't have a storm for a little while. That's an awful big. Do I have the right tank? Tank insulated. I guess that's the one that I want. Let me see here. That's a lot of steel for one tank. tank insulated small tank fuel. How much is it? Is it one for one kit tank? Um, I guess that'll be okay. It's an awful lot of steel for one tank. I don't remember it being that much, but okay. And I think I could put this, I might have to look, I did make some, can I put this over here? I'm going to just set it here for now. That works. Okay, so that is a non-insulated tank. So you're going to say, why am I using insulated pipe to pipe to a non-insulated tank? Well, I'll tell you. Because if you don't use insulated pipe in here to the point where you exit, and I'm going to turn here and hope that that's far enough, then you're going to lose a lot of your temperature. And of course I'm going to have to closely watch the pressure in this tank. I'm going to readjust this eventually, but that's what I'm going to do for now. And this will cool inside here. I may end up having to put a bigger tank on there, but I just wanted to show you the basics. Now there's a couple other things I want to do. I should be done with pipes. I think it's all piped up now. Eventually I'm going to pipe this tank into here, but I want it to cool first, because I don't like injecting 600 Kelvin or 600 Celsius, whatever it would be, air into my breathing air, because then it goes in here and next thing you know your plants have died because it's 40 degrees Celsius in your greenhouse. So I'm going to do this temporarily and see how it works. I've actually never done this before. And I'm a little worried about overpressurizing this, but I think I'll be okay. Maybe not. It could be interesting. Could be interesting. Anyway, so how do you keep this insulated? So let's go over here and take my iron frame. You notice how I got this set up? I put it forward of the center of the frame, and there's a reason for that. So when I put my iron frame, and I might have wires in the way. There we go. When I put my iron frame on this frame, is that tank going to be okay? It should be. And we'll just put that right there. Notice the front of this is still exposed. This doesn't leak heat hardly at all, if any, and that's just the way they designed it. And I had steel sheets, I do. So, I'm sorry, iron sheets. And that was an iron frame, just to make sure I said that correctly. Now, anytime you put a frame in steam, or Stationeers right now, and those pipes are fine, I'm pretty sure. It makes it a vacuum in here. So you're not going to lose hardly any heat inside this frame. And it helps keep, seems counterproductive since I want it to cool, but I want it to be warm while it's in the furnace. So, I still have one problem. And I gotta put my pipe display, and I hope I can put it here, and turn it on and wire it okay. I really don't, I need to be able to turn it on though. Let's see if I can turn it on from there. It's going to be a tight fit over here. Ah, perfect. Okay, I don't need to see that. I just need to use a chip to program it. I got 12 wires left. So I got to wire up these two things, and I can steal this connection right here. That's pretty good. And we'll get that up, and then we'll bring down to below here, huh? Okay. And we'll connect that into here. Good to go. Alright. Now, where did I put, I think I put it up here. So this is where I have my control for my pressures in my after my gas mixers. So I can use that one to do the same thing here. So we'll call this the furnace analyzer and the furnace mixer, and we're good to go. So I can come over here, I can jump, set my laptop down, don't storm because your laptop will go flying, turn this off, and you want to make sure you're not pressurizing this. It's always tricky, it's off. So if you turn that off and your gas mixer is on, it's going to keep filling up that pipe while you're looking at it. So whenever you turn this off, you want to make sure you're not pressurizing your pipe. So let's input that, and here we go. So I'm going to have to add a whole nother section here. So let's put a couple more of these in, because now I want to alias the, we'll call it Fern Mixer. Get that out of the way. Alias Fern, A-N-A-L-Z. And I have to make this D2 and D3. So, there's going to be a trick to doing this now, and I'm just going to start down here. And again, there's probably, if you combine these, it might get confusing, so I'm not going to combine them. I'm going to call this Fern, we'll just call it Fern Check. And we'll make that the call. And so we're going to basically, I can just do this. This is going to be separate. I'm just going to copy, paste, Y type it all over again, copy, paste. Unfortunately, I think you can only copy one line at a time. Paste, copy, and paste. So I got the check the same with the exception that I need. Oops, I can't have a space in here. I'm surprised it let me do that. I gotta rename this Fern Analyzer. I'm surprised it let me do that. Now there's one other thing to consider. I have to have it jump down here. So instead of jump starting here, I'm gonna put jump, and I used a capital Fern Check. And the same thing here. Jump, Fern Check. So now, once it's done doing what it wants to do with the living air, it'll jump down to Fern Check and take care of this down here. You can hit jump start here, that's okay. It's just, and again, if it's the pressure actually equals one of those, I just don't want it to skip through. This all happens very fast, so I have to rename this. So let's turn Fern on, turn Fern off, and then we can just copy, make this a little quicker again. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay, so turn on is going to be turn fern on, and the gas mixer is going to be, I think it was fern mixer, right? Fern mixer. Fern mixer. So now I got this the way I want it to be. I don't want to jump to fern check. At this point I'm going to jump to start. So again, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Now this will be turn fern off. Everything looks good there. And save fern mixer on 0 and jump start. So that should finish that. So after it does its initial check for the air pressure in the living air mix, it jumps down to fern check and does the same thing for the furnace. To a simple idiot proof it here. So I'm going to confirm that. Export. There's a couple things I have to do over here before I do this. Now this pressure is probably going to be low because it hasn't run yet. None hasn't run for a while. That's okay. I can turn this one. I did turn that one on. So we're good. So again, you're working with pressures, so you want to, let me pick this up so I don't kick it. So you want to turn this on. I know the other one works. That one is not working. So I gotta check that. Oh, that one's going over pressure. So, oh, I have an error. Okay, never mind. That's because I didn't set the things up. Now remember, this is on. I come over and turn it off. See, I went to 5.89. If I got to 20 megapascals, my pipes would blow. And this is a stupid thing I didn't think about. I still have to set these up. Fern mixer, so let's go. Furnace mixer. It's good. Furnace analyzer.
Hunger caution.
Furnace mixer. Uh-oh. Huh. It went alphabetical. I wonder why. Okay, now we should be okay. So I know that one's pretty high in pressure, so when I turn this on, no errors. I'm going to go down here real quick. We're good. So that one is not pressurizing. And that one pressurized. So we're good. And it's shut off. Good to go. Okay, let me pause this for a second. Okay, I just wanted to gather my thoughts and my next step here. That's hollering at me, so let's eat some food. Now, I did some mining earlier. You see I have 50 cobalt, 50 copper. Those I can use later. And I also made 100 steel and set that aside. So, let's look at Astroloy. Astroloy. Sometimes these ratios get pretty confusing, and I'm hoping I'm not messing this up on the recording. But the way I'm looking at this, if I do 100 steel, then I have to do 50 copper and 50 cobalt and mix that together. The tough part about Astroloy, as you can see, you do need relatively high pressures. That's not a big deal. Anything above 40, you're almost in the red on the stove or the furnace. So, but let's Let's see if we can blow ourselves up here. Well, that is going to blow myself up because the first thing, when you turn this on, make sure these are set correctly. You want to start at 0. When you first build it, they're set crazy. And I don't know what I got in there, but it's not a big deal. So let's put the input, leave the output 0, and put the input by holding the C key, as you can see, to 1. And let's ignite the fuel. And there we go. Now it fires up real quick. See, the pressures are nice. I'm not outputting anything at this point into there. So I just got to slowly build this pressure up, and you could go a little faster here if you wanted to by making that 2, and I may do that. I just want to see how this is working here. First time using this setup. Okay, I think I'm safe to go to 2. And you might want to hit that a couple times, but you should be fine once it's fired. So remember, I need to get the pressure, and I can't hit C while I'm doing that, so you have to read to the right chamber. I need to get that pressure to 30 megapascals. So let's, oh, well that's not what I wanted. Well, that'll make the pressure go high real quick. Maybe. Why is this not turning back on? Okay, so let's shut this down for a minute. Make sure there's not a problem up here. That's okay. Why didn't this turn back on? It turned on once. That's weird. The thrills of troubleshooting the program. What did I do wrong here? Oops. Now remember, I think I'm safe, but I disconnected this. The first thing you want to do a flyover, off, we're good. So why did this not turn back on? Turn off, start. So it goes back to start. If it's less than turn fern on, jump to start. Fern check, fern check, fern check. Didn't that turn back on? It turned on and then it didn't turn back on. So somewhere down here, load R0 fern analyzer pressure. Turn fern on. So it did it the first time. That's kind of odd. Turn fern mixer, on, off, jump start. Turn fern on, 4000, turn fern off. You got both of those set to fern check. But I guess I could do this. Okay, go left. That way, if these match, it'll jump to fern check, but that shouldn't be a problem, but maybe once through. Furnace analyzer pressure. Fern mixer, fern analyzer with a Z, fern analyzer. It would be red if it was wrong. Pressure. And I'm using R0, but R0 is reusable after because it's a whole separate thing and I'm reloading it. I don't know. That's kind of odd. Did it work again first time through? It did. So it works and then it doesn't work. I'm going to have to figure that one out. Sounds good. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. Anyway, turn this back on. Now, I lost a lot of temperature, which I shouldn't have done. I have insulated everything here, so I might have to move some of those pipes around. But I'm okay because I still need a lot of pressure. Oh, it's working. That's odd. I don't know why it did that. Must have had something to do with that jump start. As long as this is working, yep, I'm happy. Okay, so now the pressure's climbing. And while that's climbing, let's do that. And again, I got to get it to 30. You don't want to, like, overdo this input, because if you look in here, I probably have unburned volatiles. Yes. So after you stop that, it's going to continue to go up. So when you're working with higher pressures, don't think, let's just set this to 10, because you're going to end up getting into a panic mode. Now, I actually forgot something, and let me turn this off. I forgot to do, and I'm hoping I can get this right, I forgot to allow for my inputs. Pretty sure it's right there. That's going to be my input chute. And then I want to do a corner. And inlet. And we'll put that over there. Then I got to do the same over here. Now I'm doing this out of experience, because I know pretty sure that that's where the inputs are to the furnace. Is this 2? That isn't 2. That's 2. One corner. Do I have enough for an outlet? Because I used a glass one there for some stupid reason. How many do I have left? Yeah, I do. So, junction, inlet, outlet. And we'll put that this way. That should work. Okay. Sorry about that again. How we doing here? We're still a good temperature, so I can put the input back to 2. And I'm still under pressure. Temperature's holding up. The reason I did that is because now I can throw my steel in there and make sure I got the input correct. I do. And then I can throw my cobalt in there. Now cobalt will increase the pressure, so you got to be careful. Matter of fact, I'm going to shut that off until I get done with this. And my copper in there, and we'll see if we have these right. So we're almost up to pressure. That's what cobalt does. Keep that in mind. When you have to mix cobalt ore into something, it spikes the pressure. And we'll go up to 1. I'm almost there. The temperature's good. And there we go. We'll produce 50 Astroloy. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to make more. But you see how we're doing it. Hopefully I got the output right. I do. So let's turn that off. So there's your 50 Astroloy. You can see I'm at 31, and I'm almost in the red. You can go into the red here. For waspaloy, you will have to go into the red, but you don't want to leave it there too long. So now I'm going to let this idle and let it cool down a little bit. I could throw some ores in there, but I don't have any. So I only got 50 Astroloy, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, I used 100, used at least 100, well, I used 200 ores, basically. That's expensive. To only get 50. So let's look at solar. panel heavy dual. How much do I need for each one of these? Kit solar panel heavy. 15 Astroloy. That's only going to be 3. Whew. That's expensive. So I guess I'll probably pause it and repeat this process because I want to make 10 solar panels. So I need to do this 3 more times. 3 more times. Wow. Okay, well I won't bore you with that. You saw how I made it. So I'm going to repeat the process 3 more times. So I will pause it at this point. Okay, so after running around and mining for what seemed like ever, and getting more coal while I was out there because I'm using coal, I think I got enough. 150 should do me to start with. But I only had to do 2 more batches. It wasn't quite as bad as I thought. So let's look at solar. Oh, I have to show you one more thing when I do this. Solar basic heavy, solar panel heavy. It's been a while since I made these. Kit solar panel heavy. Kit solar panel heavy. That's what I want. Oops. Where's my steel? I stole it. Now I'm probably going to have to make steel. How much steel does this use? 10. Oh. Well, I burned my steel to make the Astroloy, so now I'm going to run out of steel. And that's set for 200, and we're going to rob Peter to pay Paul again. Catch my rollers. I think there's only 1 in that one. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that in there. And take the steel, put that in there. Oh, you idiot. Okay. Silicone, okay. This is cooling down now, by the way, because I went out and mined some coal. But I did do one thing, well, a couple things. I made my platform for my solar panels. And while I was doing that, my welder ran out. And this is why I wanted to go with an arc welder. I didn't do it because I want to show you what I'm talking about. But so I put a tank filling station here, and it's, for anybody that doesn't know, it's pretty easy. You just take the tank out and you slap it in there and it'll refill it. And since I got this set to 4, it refilled it to 4. I actually took it out a little early because I didn't really care how full it was. But so I just this is going to be my, is it 10 degrees? Yeah. This is going to be my filling station for any fuel tanks I might need in the future. Alright, so I'm going to make one of these first. I got the 150 Astroloy. Now I'm low on steel because I need my steel to make the Astroloy. And I have coal, and I can take 150 of those, so I can do that way. And I won't hold you up too much for this. I will pause it while I'm making the other ones. I just want to make sure I have the right one. I think I do. My last planet that I did was Mimas, and there was no sun, so I didn't make solar panels. So I'm a little behind on what I need to do. Now you can see how when gas cools, I had 30 megapascals in there. I'm now down to 17 megapascals only because it's cooling. So that's why you always leave a gap in your tanks. It's going to take a while to make these. I'm pretty sure this is the one I want. I do need a glass. We'll make one of them just to test it. And I might need steel sheets. There goes more steel. Oh my. Alright. I don't have steel in here, do I? Oh, I do. Well, 14 grams. I'm going to roll that in there. Alright. So I want to leave the first one empty for now. So when you lay these out, you got to be very careful where you put your power and your data inputs. I like to keep the power to the outside, so I don't need steel. That's very nice. So I'll lay that one down, and it takes 4 steel sheets, I believe. I didn't look, but that's a completed one. Now there's a couple of reasons I wanted to stop with one here, to show you keep your power on one side and your data on the other, and I'll explain that to you a little bit more in the future here. You don't want to, it's just a waste of wire to like wire every one of them. So plus if you wire your power to your data and don't wire the data to any other power source, you're only going to be getting your data at night, because when it's dark, these aren't producing any power, as you can see. So keep them separate. The second key thing I want to show you, and this might take me a couple seconds, you want to go on vertical, and you want to lean the vertical to a lower direction, and I'll show you why. So see how vertical is now 70 degrees, and it's looking this way. When you put your daylight sensor down to control these, you want your daylight sensor facing the same direction as when you lower the vertical to under 90 degrees. So my daylight sensor is going to be facing this way, and that ensures when I write my code that the solar panels would be pointing towards the sun. And at that point, I'm going to pause this because I'm going to need more steel. So I'll make some steel, run around again. Actually, you know what? I need this coal. I'm going to need this iron. I'll just go mine some more. But I will start making all of these that I can. I'm only going to be 3 short, so I don't need to make a whole lot. But I'm going to pause this here and make some steel and finish laying these out. And there's a couple things I have to take into consideration, and we'll cover that when I come back. Okay, so I made all the steel. I'm still making these. These take a very long time, but I wanted to show you real quick. I'm only going to go with 9 because it's just going to work out that way. It doesn't really matter. I'm staggering these. I think I just had another one. Yeah. And the reason for that is a wiring consideration. I want to pull all the datas this side and put all the powers to this side. So I can't put them right next to each other because then they'll be cross-connected. You run into problems if you do that, so I may have to even hop a wire over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 done. I need 3 more. I did start unloading my hot air into here. Now I just was thinking about this. This is going to be a problem. I'm going to have to watch this really close because I got a lot of pollutants in there. So if it gets to an ugly temperature and an ugly pressure, you know, at this point, I'm not even sure if I want to save this air. It does have a lot of oxygen in it. It's mostly CO2, which I don't need. The nitrogen would be nice. Now I'm thinking I don't need the pollutants at this point. It's only going to be 1 megapascal. As it's cooling off, it's really going down, the temperature, the pressure. So, I don't know. Maybe, I'm still debating this. I might just vent it into the atmosphere. I could tee it off into my input. I may do that. I'm not sure yet. So this one, again, I got to stagger it. And this wiring might be tricky with this setup. I'll probably have to go over top of a wire, which doesn't look real good, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 2 more. I hope I got enough of everything for that. 2 more, 20 steel, 30, oof, boy, yeah, barely. I did put this up to 2. I could probably put it up higher because it's not going to be a problem with overpressuring this. As it cooled down, it really contracted. In fact, I can even go higher. I can just empty this. So let's turn it off and go to 10. Okay. So let me finish these next 2. Oh, I'm out of copper. Well, I got copper in here. Here we go again. This is why the next step in this is going to be, and I didn't turn that on so everything went behind here, is going to be the deep miners, I think. I am so tired of mining. I'm just going to dump everything in here. I think I only need 1 more. Turn this off, save power. Turn it off. Okay. 7 iron ingots. Okay, I'll take the 7 iron ingots. We'll throw that in there too. And I think I only want 1 more, so I'm going to do my little trick so it doesn't keep printing. Put that one there. Okay. I'm going to have to print out a bunch of wires. So I'll pause it here again, put this last one up, print out a bunch of wires, which I hope I got enough copper for. Copper, gold. Oh yeah, we're alright. I probably have some in there too. Okay, let me pause this and finish this up. Okay, so this has caused some issues over here, so I'm going to tear this back down after this one. I think until future, I'm just going to vent my gases into the atmosphere from the furnace until I have a better setup to handle it, because as you can see, my oxygen is now 149 Celsius. So I bypass this and I'm pulling cold air in here trying to cool everything back down, and it is working. So it won't be a long-term problem, but that's the kind of thing you got to watch for. So in the future, I'll tear this out and just vent it for now and worry about it later. I did wire all the, if you follow my wiring, all the electrical, I brought it all over to this side over here. The first 2 rows weren't a problem. The last row, I'm going to have to finagle a little bit, as we say. So now I want to bring the data over here. Now the first side is going to be easy, and I'm put a T on there just for expansion purposes. 2, and you hit your head constantly while walking around these. 3, and then I want to bring this over a couple more for now. And then we connect all those. And if I have to print more cables, I'll pause it. This kind of stuff just eats cables alive. You end up going through a ton of cables doing this. Okay, so there's the first one. So this one again is going to be really easy. I just got to bring these over. I'm listening in the background for pipes to start complaining due to cooler temperatures. I don't think it's going to be a problem for a while, but... And that one's connected. And that one's connected. So this is going to be the one I'm going to have to figure out. I'll have to jump a wire. Not very aesthetic. How am I going to do this? Oh, you know what? No, I don't have to jump a wire. This actually is going to work. I think. Is that over there? Yeah. And I can come up this side here, can't I? Huh! That actually worked. I am going to need more cables. So as long as you don't cross wires, you're okay. Now the other people will say, yeah, you can cross the wires, you can wire it up that way. I don't like doing that. It's just my way of doing things. I find if you wire everything up together and then come out here and wire this to the power, which is what I'm going to do in the long term, then you wire your power up, you're going to end up blowing cables because you're going to end up crossing two power inputs into one. And I thought I had some more cables. I have 12 in there. I don't know if that's going to be enough or not. Oop, what am I doing? Did I dump an ore? No, okay. I got 12 more. Oop. There we go. So I got that one, that one, that one. So it's two more. That might be enough. I doubt it. I'm going to need more cable. So we're going to go over this way. Kind of nice how this worked, actually. I don't know how long this is getting. I've been paused a lot because I've been doing a lot of mining and stuff, and I'm going to need more cables. So hopefully this isn't getting excessively long. This one I could just shoot up the side there. So I'm going to pause it while I make more cables, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I tore that tank out. Everything's kind of stabilized over here now. So the temperature in this will be coming down slowly, very slowly. I could throw some oxide ice in there. Matter of fact, I think I will. Pardon the interruption here. We'll put that down there. There just happens to be some right here. I got holes all over the place from all the mining I'm doing here, so I have to watch where I'm walking, especially in the dark. We'll throw a couple hundred of them in there. That'll cool the oxygen off and solve most of the problem I have. And I haven't gone inside the room. It's probably a little warm in there, but I don't think it'll be too bad, and it'll correct itself over time. Now this will probably overpressurize my pipe. Yeah, I got this set for 3/4. I'm going to turn this off since it's daytime. I don't care if it pressurizes a little bit. My stress is okay, I just got to watch the pollutants. But I don't want to waste that oxide ice. And we'll just let that go. And if I hear groaning noises, I know I got to take care of it. Alright, so we're at our last data connection. So what I'm going to do is go up one more and then just turn over. Okay, so now all the power is connected to this end row over here, and all the data is connected to this end row over here. And let me check this real quick. That's getting pretty high. So one way to solve that, I got two ways. I can turn this off and see what that does. That helped, but it's still going up. It's mostly carbon or CO2 because I don't need any CO2. My CO2 is full. I'm going to have to turn this off. It's overpressurizing. So let's bypass that. Turn that off. And this should be coming down now. I'm using everything but the CO2. I got 2,000 moles of CO2 in there, so there's another way to do this. Dump the whole thing. I don't need the CO2, and that's what's causing me the problem. So if I dump all that out of there, and then set this to, I'll say 3,000. Now I got 10% oxygen and nitrogen, so that's a better mix. And we'll turn all this back on and let that control it again. And hopefully this doesn't overpressurize. I may have to adjust the system. Eventually I won't even need this, but I'm low on the oxygen, and right now the oxygen's too warm. So I'm going to keep this running. And it should start to, it should only go up to there, because now I got that vent on over there. So we're going to let that go. Sorry about the interruption. Okay, so I got all these wired. So now what do I need to control them? I'm going to come over here, and I'm probably going to have to rob some mores, because I pretty much robbed this one. And I need a sensor. And do I have anything in here? I've got iron over here. Oop. I might need those cables though. Cables, iron, gold and copper. So, well, I gotta take it out of here, I guess. That's my leftover Astroloy. I'm just gonna put everything in here, I guess. I'm going to set some kind of automated system to transfer this stuff around, so I don't have to worry about this anymore. So there's in the future, there's a sensor. I only need one of those. So now remember I said you want the sensor pointed in the same direction, and you want that sensor wired to the data. So, daylight sensor facing the same direction as when you twisted that. That would be that way. Alright, so I need a cable and the cutter. Okay, so the daylight sensor is wired up. Now, and I'm stuck under the hitting my head, I want to put the data into the power side. Not the power, just the data. This will power the data side and provide the data into the link. Now hopefully I'm doing this right, and if I've miswired anything in here, we'll know in a second. We're good. Okay, so what do I plug this into? Well, I'm going to have to work my way around. I'll probably go over the building here. But I want to plug that into my battery input. So the best way to do this, and a lot of guys don't like to suspend, and I'm not going to have enough cables again. Don't like this. Oop. I'll be alright. And we'll go over from here. And like I said, you go through cables like crazy wiring up your solar panels. And I should have just waited to come up here because I'm not going to have enough anyway. Alright, one more quick pause. What do I need in here first? I think I got everything. I don't need anything else in here. Famous last words. So let's put everything back in here. Of course, I got stuff in my hands. And a roly-poly. I'm due for a storm too, so I have to be careful leaving things lay around right now. Oh, and I got this open. Jeez. So I'm feeding it in and it's kicking it right back out. I didn't lose anything, did I? No. I think the next thing on my list, first thing for tomorrow's episode, is to get a weather station up so I don't have to sit here and guess when the next storm is coming, because it is getting kind of a pain when you have to move all these oars around. Alright, let me make a few more cables, and I'm going to take care of some maintenance up the top right there. What is that? Oh, I had that sitting in there, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, so real quick, I did come in here to update my air and empty my tank because it was overpressurized. And it is only 28 in here. That's actually not that bad. So the heating of the tank out there didn't cause any issues, even if I had plants in here, because I usually keep it around 25 when I have plants. So it was okay. Not something I want to do anymore, but that one hot tank issue didn't matter too much. So I'm still printing out my cables. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're just about done here today with what I need to do for this episode. So let me finish, and I did, while I was away, put all the glass onto the solar panels, and I had 2 glass left over. That was a pleasant surprise, because I always seem to run out of stuff. Alright, so now we got this coming down through here. And I could have come down one earlier, but time constraints at the moment. Again, I don't know how long this episode is, because I've paused it so much. So at this point, I'm in kind of a hurry-up mode. Alright, so now I got the power wired into the battery input. So that's good to go. So what else do I need to make this work now? Well, I got to program everything to get it to track the sun. So I'm going to need an IC chip. Might need a batch reader too. Again, I haven't used these in MeMouse at all, so I'm trying to remember what how my program is written. I do have a program in the library that I'm going to use. I don't remember if I need batch readers or not. I might. And I want one of those. And I want a housing. Oop. I'll take that. I have room in here. My locker's getting pretty full of miscellaneous stuff. And almost out of steel again. It's just amazing how fast you go through steel when you do solar panels and things like that. A lot of copper too. And I think I'm actually probably literally out of copper. I don't think I have any. I might have some in here. Yeah, I got 100 copper in there, so if I need it, I can use it. Alright, now, you want to put this stuff on the data side, because you don't need to monitor anything on the power side, just the data side. So we'll put this here, and I'll put the chip in there temporarily. And like I said, I might have to, not pause it if I do, I might have to print some batch readers. I can't remember how my program is. Here's my computer. And if I get a storm right now, I'm going to be in trouble. I think I am due for a storm. Alright, so let's edit this, clear it, go to my library. I think I have it called New Solar Script, New Solar. Yes. It's pretty short. Again, I define all the solar panels. I'm pretty sure that number, I don't know if I've ever done that. Let's confirm that. So if you go to solar panel heavy dual, that's that number right there. The prefab hash, when you define an item, you use that number right there. And you could just left click on it and it copies it to your clipboard, and then you can just, when you go in here, you can just Control V and there's that number. So I'm looking at the daylight sensor. I defined, so I do not need anything else. I defined the solar panels, and this might have to change. It depends if it's lined up correctly. But all I'm doing is loading the daylight sensor horizontal, saving it to batch, saving it to what I defined, solar panels horizontal, same thing with the vertical, and then it loops back around. Very simple program. So let's export that. And if this, I still have to, I'm picking this up because I'm, like I said, I am due for a storm. I'll turn this on, get my error, because I have to define the, do I have any daylight sensors? I might in the future. Daylight sensor solar. Okay, now I don't have to worry about ever misprogramming that one. Daylight sensor solar. Now if I click this, look at that. And the sun rises over here. It's pointing in the right direction, and it'll automatically, just with those, that quick of a program, and you can see I'm already generating power. That worked out pretty well. Now see, there is some disadvantages to the way I have this set up. I staggered it. If you come up here and it lets me stay there, you can see I am in the shadow during the morning. It clears up pretty quick. It's not going to mess it up too much. If you see, I'm only getting 176 on that one. I'm getting almost full power on that one, but that'll correct itself pretty quick, you see. So in the morning, yeah, you might be in the shadows a little bit. I stagger them. It becomes a point where the space required to stagger it further isn't worth. And look at that. Poof. Full power. Now I have to expand my batteries because I'm generating much more than I'm using right now, which is fine. I'd rather generate too much than not enough. But there you go. We set up our solar panels, set up our advanced furnace, overheated our oxygen. But again, that didn't cause any problems. It's still a little warm. But that'll fix probably today once it gets below 10 Celsius very shortly, and this all kicks back on. And how am I doing in here? 3 megapascals. And it's down to temperature in here, so any new air that it brings in over here, and I could, well, now it just came on, so I could have put more ice in there. Let's see, it's coming down pretty quick, so we're okay. But, so, power. Let's go over here. Why can't I see power? That's weird. Huh. Alright, well, let's cross off water, because water is done. Let's cross off atmospherics, because atmospherics is done. And I'm just going to dash this out because we just did it. So there you go. Next step will be food. The question will be, do I want to make a new room? It's now 30 Celsius in here, but that's still okay. And I think I will. I think I'll bust out the back wall here and expand my base, and I'll leave this as an entry point, and develop this further in the future. But I don't want to put my greenhouse here. I want to put it somewhere else. So we'll plan on that tomorrow. And probably behind the scenes I'll at least double my battery storage, because I'm just wasting my solar power right now. And you can see how perfectly they track the sun, and they should all be out of the shadows now. So I am going to be getting, I can't do that with that in my hand, almost 500 watts out of each one of these. So 500 times 9, we're talking 4.5 kilowatts. So I guarantee you I'm not using 4.5 kilowatts. Now, if I'd have wired that into red wires, I'd have blown a wire. I can guarantee it, because the data part anyway. I don't know. It's just best to keep your wires at a level where you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. 52. It's coming down. We'll be alright. I would be worried if I had my greenhouse in there. I'd have to set some coolers up, but by the time I get my greenhouse in there, I'll be fine. So tomorrow, food. We'll set up our first greenhouse. Behind the scenes, I will at least set up the building back here. I may not bust the wall out, because I want to show you how to do that without decompressing your whole base. If you accidentally open up one of these frames in the wrong spot, you'll be repressurizing your base because you just lost everything. That's it. This is Navy Old Soft Gamer. If you like these videos, go ahead and follow, subscribe, and like. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this so I can maybe use it as a... Now let's do it this way. There we go. We'll do that. I'll take a screenshot of that. And we'll use that as my picture for my thumbnail. Okay. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Again, subscribe and like. You have a good day.